Well done, Harry. Again, another destroyer.
Next year, I know we're all looking forward to welcoming many more fellow Brits from across the pond, provided they behave and they make it through customs, past ice.
Harry is so determined to prove that he's just the same fun-loving, whimsical prince that we all knew, and he's just a loser.
Developing today, new splits between King Charles and Prince William over the future of the monarchy as Prince Harry's security scandal grows. Let's get into this Christmas shake-up first from the heir to the throne, because of course this does suggest that William believes he's almost operating as regent. And certainly over the years to come, as Charles's health suffers further, as the incurable cancer makes it more and more difficult for him to make big decisions and take the lead, William believes that he is going to be able to stamp out some of the traditions that in his view, and certainly not the view of many royalists like me, but in his view, are antiquated and will actually make it harder for the British royal family to maintain public support in the long term. This from Charlotte Griffiths. Let's get into it. It has been a long-standing, if light-hearted tradition for generations of royals when they gather at Sandringham for their annual Christmas celebrations. But when Prince William becomes king, it is understood that he will scrap an outdated ceremony which involves handing out joke £5 presents in strict order of royal seniority. The antiquated game involves the cheap gifts being handed out by King Charles and previously by his mother, the late Queen, from a specially assembled trestle table, in a ritual which perfectly captures the Windsor pecking order. While senior royals receive their gifts first, more junior royals are forced to wait patiently as the pile diminishes. A source said while William's mind is on much bigger changes than just the trestle table, it's well known to be one of those antiquated traditions that he's never really taken to. You can expect that to be one of the first things to go when he eventually hosts his first Sandringham Christmas. The royal family's festive gathering has always run on a strict and quietly rigid hierarchy, completely at odds to the easy, informal gatherings William and Catherine are known to prefer at Amner Hall with the Middletons. Friends say the couple enjoy the Middleton-style family chaos, present opening rather than Sandringham's more orchestrated festivities. Dinner at Sandringham on Christmas Eve is black tie and held to a precise schedule with seating plans dictated by rank. While Christmas lunch itself has no formal seating plan, the royals come to their table from their rooms, which are arranged according to their status. Lower tier members of the family are housed in servants' quarters further away from the dining room, while senior royals are closer. In the past, Sarah Ferguson, not invited this year, has been consigned to Wood Farm, a different building altogether. But the trestle table of gifts is what reinforces the formality of the hierarchies and means much-loved members of the family like Zara Phillips, who was not assigned an HRH title at birth, are left until last, something which does not fit with William and Catherine's more relaxed style. The source added William adores Zara. He would hate that the practice of leaving her to the back of a queue. It's just not William's way of doing things at home, and he has apparently quipped in the past that he wouldn't continue any of that stuff, though he appreciates his father does it for this nostalgia and as a way to remember the Queen. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind biographer of Prince Harry and Queen Camilla, joins me now. But the thing is, Angela, this revelation actually strikes at a much deeper issue because, of course, William isn't going to be there for the Christmas lunch at Sandringham this year. He will be at the church with his family, so he's seen with the world, but potentially at one of his father's last Christmases, which is already difficult given there's the absence of his son, his youngest son, the absence of Prince Andrew. William doesn't want to be part of it. And with a story like this being leaked out, the message being sent is that William wants this modernization project within the British royal family to start sooner rather than later. Now, I'm a bit of a traditionalist. Do you see any problems with these Sandringham traditions at Christmas time? I mean, I do remember, Angela, that William's mother, Diana, Princess Diana, absolutely hated Christmas at Sandringham. And maybe it was something that almost has stuck with William since his youth.
Yes, maybe. I do know, though, that the late Queen was very, very determined about how things worked. And if she was still eating, you had to wait for her to eat. If you wanted to go up and you were, wanted to go to bed early, you couldn't do that. And until she said she could. Most women changed their clothes 5 times a day. I mean, it wasn't easy. And I think that actually Charles made it a bit easy. Initially, and didn't want to change the whole thing. But I think that it's quite nice to remember what she was like and what she wanted. I think, making people sit there while you're eating or talking is actually very difficult. But I think that, the fact that you're not going to get a silly toy that costs £5. You can actually manage that. I mean, the Queen didn't like anyone to spend a lot of money on Christmas. I think they were stopped at a certain amount. So you would get funny little things, silly little things, and you'd all roar with laughter, and that would be it. And the Queen wanted that. But if somebody wants to get rid of, those silly £5 things and have nicer presents, you've got the problem of who's giving who what and how much did they spend. So it's quite difficult. I mean, if you have a certain amount, then things are easier for everyone, but they don't have to be silly little things. If you come across something that's very particularly nice, you can do it. But I think you should have a money stop, because they've all got loads of money, but it's very embarrassing as to who does a lot of money and who doesn't. And I think that actually it's not William's time to do that yet. That's his father's time. And because it's only a small thing and it's not going to change the royal family in any way. But I think it's going to be a shame that there's not going to be many family there. But I believe that there's people sort of who are going to join very nicely. I mean, Camilla's children aren't coming with their children. That's not happening either. So I think it might be much smaller than usual. But I hope that there's a warmth there. And that's what I really hope for. And that, anyone who's good at making people laugh and chatting nicely and kindly and not having, a furrowed brown, is actually very, very nice.
But Angela, would it not be an idea, or is this a modernization step too far to say, okay, well, let's have Camilla's children there with their family, but also let's have the Middletons there too? Or is that just not the done thing because they're not
But
royal?
I think with parents, I don't think it's whether they're royal or not, but every sort of husband and wife with children, or a group family, like to have it in their home with their things that they do, their jokes, that what they eat. And I think that when you have a young married couple, you go to one on one day and you go to the other one on the other day. And there's often a problem as to which day wants Christmas Day and which day wants Boxing Day. It's not easy. It's not easy. But I think, if William wants to go to his in-laws, then that's a very nice thing, because he does get on with them very nicely, and he's got his sisters-in-law and brother-in-law there, and they can be as they are, very natural. But if you are in a royal situation, it's very difficult. I think Camilla's children found it very difficult. Camilla persuaded them to come last year because she hasn't had Christmas with them for quite a long time. So they thought that they did it to please her, but really they wanted to just go and do their own thing. I think that's one of the sad things about when children grow up. They want to go and do their things, and however much they love you, they don't actually really want to be with you for all the events and things that happen.
Angela, there is growing backlash in the US for Prince Harry constantly invoking Donald Trump and getting incredibly political in his appearances. Now, we've got two examples of this, and we've got two video examples of this. We're going to come to his speech, which has now been leaked from inside this event in Los Angeles in just one moment. But first, this was his appearance on Stephen Colbert.
Treated like a king for the day. What would you want me to do for you?
Beg for me, probably.
You'd want me to do what? Beg?
Beg. Beg.
Beg?
B-A-K. Beg. Beg.
Oh, bake!
I heard you elected a king.
That's a fair point.
Well, Maureen Callahan, on the nerve, had this to say.
You know, he went from second in line to the throne to basically like an on-call sidekick for a guy who completely destroyed the late night franchise. So I guess well done, Harry. Again, another destroyer. This happened against the backdrop of William and Catherine, Princess of Wales, hosting a state dinner and releasing what will be, it looks like, their Christmas card. And these two could not look more royal and adult. And, you know, that's something that Meghan and Harry just will never achieve. They will never accomplish it. They're children. Talk about emotionally immature. Is that our theme for the episode? Those two are so emotionally immature, and Harry is so determined to prove that he's just the same fun-loving, whimsical prince that we all knew, and he's just a loser.
Well, he is, because at this event in Los Angeles, there was almost a forced standing ovation after firstly he made a Trump joke while talking about the World Cup. Watch this.
Next year, I know we're all looking forward to welcoming many more fellow Brits from across the pond, provided they behave and they make it through customs, past ice, and everything else. The World Cup is coming to the United States. Both England and Scotland.
And he then tried to make the point, you know, that he's still British, but he's American. You know, none of this lands anymore. None of this lands. Watch.
Being British isn't about where you physically stand, but what you stand for. I recently wrote about our armed forces for Remembrance Day and what that past experience brought up for me. Service, duty, camaraderie, being part of something larger than yourself, and, of course, banter.
Okay, well, if it's about what you stand for, being British, I imagine it's not slamming half your population being far right because they voted for Brexit. Probably not slamming the great institution, the British royal family that you were meant to be a part of, for being racist. You stand for everything bad about Britain, which is why you're now so unpopular here. But I think what was more telling was the standing ovation, which you can just see was totally forced and a weak source standing ovation if I have ever seen one. Angela Levin, another mortifying paid-for appearance, but those people in the crowd, they did not want to get to their feet, and then they were down as soon as humanly possible, Angela.
Yes, absolutely. Well, it was all phony, wasn't it? It was all phony and nonsense. And if you talk to Harry about service and duty, that's all gone. That's what he thought about when he was in the army. But before that and after that, it's actually not been his attempt to do. And I think all this is just it just shows how low he's standing and how unhappy he is and how useless he is now. It's pathetic and it's revolting. And I think that I'm sure Meghan has made him do this because she wants to bring him down with her. That's
Well,
what I
yes, I
think.
mean, Rob Shooter is literally reporting that, Angela. I mean, he says that Meghan forced Harry, or pushed is the term he used, that she pushed Harry to pivot into politics on that Stephen Colbert appearance, and that she even had script approval.
There wasn't anything that was just off the cuff. When I looked at it and heard him, I mean, he used to make me laugh a lot when I was doing his biography, very quick jokes. But this was not funny. This is somebody who's trying very, very hard to make you laugh with a gormless face on and, a nonsense and stroking somebody as if you sort of adore them all of a sudden. I mean, the whole thing made me feel quite sick. But I can see that Meghan can think they could do a double turn and then perhaps earn a bit of money and get more people watching it. I mean, it's that bad. And I think she's done it on purpose because if she's going to fall, he's going to fall with her.
And Angela, I mean, she is falling. And what's so awkward
Yes.
is that she's even falling in her own backyard because she has been dubbed a holiday hypocrite in trendy LA's boutique's rogues gallery of 2025 villains. So let me just take you through this story. This is about Kitson, which is quite famous amongst, her woke crowd in California. And the Mail reports award season is fast approaching in Hollywood, but Meghan Markle has already been given a gong, but that she might not be too keen on. The Duchess of Sussex has been named as a villain of the year by an LA boutique whose owners have also branded her a Montecito diva. The Daily Mail can reveal today. Meghan is featured in a rogues gallery of holiday hypocrites as part of a scathing Christmas window display at high-end department store Kitson. The trendy shop in Robertson Boulevard, located between Beverly Hills and West Hollywood, has named Meghan as one of 2025's villains, along with California Governor Gavin Newsom, George Clooney, and Katy Perry. Kitson's so-called holiday hypocrisy window display has become famous in LA since it began in 2020. This year, Meghan makes the list, and she is featured in a mocked-up magazine cover where she and other public figures are made to look silly in Santa hats. The Duchess's hat had Montecito Diva on it. So, Angela, even the locals, they are turning.
Well, they're fed up with them because they have never tried to be friendly. That's what they hated. If they wanted to reach out and say, let's talk, let's meet, she didn't want any contact with the neighbors at all. But that she was a diva since she joined the royal family, wasn't she? She's actually demanding and rude and very difficult to deal with. So it's not a surprise that she's called Montecito Diva. It fits her very nicely. But she must be upset, in which case she should be a different and nicer person. Up to you, lady.
And Angela, this week, we also had Prince Harry receive the news that he has wanted for a long time in regards to his security. But there's so much topspin, Angela, going on from the regime media here. I'm actually disgusted by it. Like my former employer, GB News, suggesting the majority of Britons back Prince Harry in his fight for police protection. But as the Royal Grift said, no, they don't. GB News, stop with the rage bait. Now, Angela, I do not believe for a single second that the British population want Prince Harry back at all. They certainly don't want their taxpayer money going on him receiving this armed police protection whenever he chooses to turn up, especially, Angela, given we know that he is going to use his ability to re-enter the United Kingdom whenever he wants to try and set up, and this is how Tom Sykes in The Royalist has put it this week, Angela, a rival court to William. His reporting, Prince Harry could beef up his UK operation, which would enable him to be in direct competition with his brother's court after his dream of having automatic state-funded police security in England restored moved a step closer. Angela, your view?
I hope that doesn't happen. I mean, William is the heir to the throne. Harry isn't. If he was going to try and set something up, guess who would actually run it? Meghan. He couldn't do it all by himself. He's lost the knack now. He couldn't actually concentrate on it. He's been so used to doing rubbish and nothing. You can't come back and do as well as he might have done if he'd stayed. He was never exactly the right sort of person to be the number one at all. So I don't see why he should do that now. I don't think he can make apologies and work very hard. He's been extremely rude about the country and the people in it. So why would he want to do that? I believe that that's absolutely just making everybody sort of shiver. I don't believe it at all.
And Angela, do you think this is something that King Charles has stitched up with the British government? Because it seems quite extraordinary to me that we would go through this court case, like an actual court case. Like the judge had already made the decision. The Home Office won. Prince Harry wasn't going to receive this protection. Then he goes in for this meeting, this reunion meeting with King Charles. He then writes to the new Home Secretary of the UK, Shabana Mahmood, and all of a sudden, Angela, within weeks, there appears to be a 180. Would the government really be doing this against Charles's wishes?
No, I just think it was Harry who sent her a private letter, which I don't think is right. He's either a prince or he's free to do whatever he wants, but he can't send private letters and make demands that what he wants is all this protection. I think that's shocking. I think her acceptance of that is shocking. And it's just the Labour Party against the Tory Party at the moment for that. I don't think it's actually anything to do with the King. I think that any chance that the Labour Party would have against what the Tories have done, they will sort of grab it and try and make it very difficult for us. They've got an appetite for taking away our tax. And I think that's another reason that they would like to enjoy it. You know, all the middle-aged people can actually put out their money for other people. I know I sound absolutely ghastly on this one, but I am so angry with him that he's gone on and on and on and on. Costing absolutely millions over years to have somebody look after him. Now, there are levels of this protection, and he doesn't need the top one with the guns. Nobody's interested in him anymore. And he can get very good people to help him who are retired people who used to do all this as number one. They're now number two, but they know what's going on. They can look after you, but they won't actually allow you to have a jolly time going round. And if he gets the one for the UK, he's going to go and ask for the one for the world, because that's what's going to happen. So he, Meghan, and the children will have a lovely time going round the world with lots of people looking after them and having a nice time. Well, I don't think that's right. We should not be involved with it. He's come out. He doesn't like the way the Royals behave or anything about them. He makes a few comments every now and then that how wonderful it is, but that's not really true. Otherwise, he'd have made more effort to go back and stop being rude at the same time. And I just think we're going to hear next month. So we don't know whether it's serious, but I think there's lots of mess that's going around that is not a straightforward thing to do. It's who does better than the other person. And I think he wants the thing as a sort of to show people who he is and what he is. He doesn't need it. I don't think people are after him anymore. But he looks grand if he's still got people walking around him. And Meghan wouldn't go anywhere without anything. But Harry's been all around America without people looking after him. You see him walking around, but it's actually this whole thing about he's got to still be, in part, a prince.
And we don't want it. And we don't want it. Angela Levin, our royal mastermind biographer of Prince Harry and Queen Camilla. Thank you so much. And of course, if you do want first access to our royal uncancelled after show here on Outspoken, twice the length of what you've just received.
The Duchess of Sussex is reported to have no plans to visit her father, Thomas Markle, following his recent medical emergency, which resulted in the amputation of his left leg. The development comes only days after he underwent life-saving treatment in hospital. Thomas Markle, who is in his early 80s, was admitted to hospital in the Philippines after becoming seriously unwell at home in early December. Medical professionals later determined that his condition was critical and that urgent surgery was required. His left leg was amputated below the knee in order to remove a blood clot and prevent further complications. According to reports, the Duchess sent a letter to her estranged father, which was delivered through intermediaries described as reliable and trusted contacts. However, she is not expected to travel to see him during his recovery period. It was also reported that she has not attempted to speak with him by telephone due to concerns that conversations conducted in a hospital setting might not remain private. Sources indicated that the Duchess deleted her father's contact details following her marriage to Prince Harry in the year 2018. It was further claimed that her letter acknowledged that Thomas Markle had previously spoken publicly about their relationship in a number of media interviews. Thomas Markle is believed to be receiving treatment at the University of Cebu Medical Centre after photographs emerged showing him wearing a hospital gown bearing the institution's initials. Following surgery, he was initially placed in intensive care before later being transferred to a standard hospital room where he is now said to be recovering. In the days surrounding his hospitalisation, Thomas Markle's other children publicly appealed for the Duchess to contact him, his son, Thomas Markle Jr., who is in his late 50s, and his daughter, Samantha Markle, who is in her early 60s. Both urged her to reach out during what they described as a life-threatening health crisis. Reports also revealed that the Duchess had sent her father an email after learning of his condition. However, it was claimed that the email address used had not been active for approximately 5 years. Despite this, sources suggested that the message appeared to have been delivered successfully and did not return as undeliverable. Medical professionals treating Thomas Markle reportedly determined that the amputation was unavoidable. He was said to have undergone an initial operation before being transferred to intensive care, where doctors prepared him for a further procedure to remove his leg in order to save his life. Family members later stated that the condition of his foot had deteriorated rapidly prior to the surgery. It was also reported that Thomas Markle now faces significant medical expenses as a result of his treatment. Family members described the situation as extremely urgent, with an emergency ambulance transfer required to move him to a larger medical facility capable of performing the necessary procedures. Thomas Markle has experienced ongoing health problems in recent years, including a stroke, and had been living outside the United States for more than a decade. In the period leading up to his daughter's wedding in the year 2018, he suffered 2 heart attacks, which prevented him from attending the ceremony or accompanying her down the aisle. The latest developments highlight the continued estrangement between the Duchess of Sussex and her father, set against the backdrop of a serious medical crisis and long-standing family tensions.